Hi, I'm Steve Jobs, and I make computers.
Is Imac. I'm the chairman and CEO. Sometimes life's going to hit you in the head with a brick. Don't lose faith.
We had absolutely no idea what people were going to do these things when we started out. Matter of fact, the two people it was designed for was Woz and myself, because we couldn't afford to buy a computer kit on the market. So we liberated some parts from Hewlett-Packard and Atari, and worked on a design for about 6 months and decided that we would build our own computer.
What we think the personal computer industry is about is the invention of the fractional horsepower computer. Something that can be cost justified on the personal level, something that weighs 12 pounds that you can throw out the window if you don't like. And it's really changing the way that people interact with computers. There's a one-on-one relationship that develops between one person and one computer.
In 1977, Apple, a young, fledgling company on the West Coast, invents the Apple II, the first personal computer as we know it today. IBM dismisses the personal computer as too small to do serious computing and therefore unimportant to their business. All of the images that you will be seeing will be generated by what's in that bag right there.
Hello, I am Macintosh. It sure is great to get out of that bag. Unaccustomed as I am to public speaking, I'd like to share with you a maxim I thought of the first time I made an IBM mainframe. Never trust a computer you can't live.
One of the things that made Apple great was that in the early days, it was built from the heart. Not by somebody who came in and said, I know how to build a company. Here's what you do. It wasn't built that way. It was built from the heart. Now, unfortunately, we didn't always use our heads. And we can do better in many respects because we are wiser and smarter and know more and those kinds of things. But one of the most important things, one of my largest wishes is that we build NeXT from the heart. I think I speak for everybody at NeXT saying it's great to be back.
Until now, computers have been used to revolutionize science and industry. But the great news for 1988 is that computers have finally gotten powerful enough to have the same impact in the arts and the humanities. How many times have we all been in a great library and known there was knowledge there that we wanted to find, but there was no hope of our ever finding it amongst the mass of books? What if we could take that library and put it inside the computer and search through it in a second or two? We've done that in 1988. We've taken books, like the complete works of William Shakespeare, and we can search through them in under a second.
When we did the Macintosh, we never anticipated desktop publishing when we created the Mac. Sounds funny, because that turned out to be the Mac's compelling advantage, right? The thing that it did, not 1.5 or 2 times better than everything else, but 4 or 5 times better than anything else, where you had to have one. We never anticipated it. We anticipated bitmap displays and laser printers, but we never thought about PageMaker or that whole industry really coming down to the desktop. Maybe we weren't smart enough. But we were smart enough to see it start to happen 9 to 12 months later. And we changed our entire marketing and business strategy to focus on desktop publishing. And it became the Trojan horse that eventually got the Mac into corporate America, where it could show its owners all the other wonderful things it can do. Our arch enemy's Sun, they want to kill us, which is good. They should try to do that as soon as possible, because the sooner they do it, the cheaper it will be for them.
I think you always had to be a little different to buy an Apple computer. The creative spirits in this world. They are the people that are not just out to get a job done, they're out to change the world. And they're out to change the world using whatever great tools they can get. And we make tools for those kinds of people. Because a lot of times people think they're crazy, but in that craziness we see genius. And those are the people we're making tools for.
It's been 10 months since a new management team took over at Apple. People have been working really hard. You can see a lot of cars in the parking lots on nights and the weekends. And because of their hard work, I'm really pleased to report to you today that Apple's back on track. And I'm incredibly pleased to introduce iMac, our consumer product. And iMac comes from the marriage of the excitement of the internet with the simplicity of Macintosh. Even though this is a full-blooded Macintosh, we are targeting this for the #1 use that consumers tell us they want a computer for, which is to get on the internet, simply and fast. This is Imac. The whole thing is translucent. You can see into it. It's so cool. We've got stereo speakers on the front. We've got infrared right up here. We've got the CD-ROM drive right in the middle. We've got dual stereo headphone jacks. We've got the coolest mouse on the planet right here. Come on around. All of the connectors are inside one beautiful little door here, the Ethernet, the USB stuff. Around the back, we've got a really great handle here. The back of this thing looks better than the front of the other guys, by the way.
We are introducing a product today, and that product is called Ipod. iMac, iBook, iPod. What is Ipod? Ipod is an MP3 music player, has CD quality music, but the biggest thing about Ipod is it holds 1,000 songs. Now this is a quantum leap because for most people it's their entire music library. This is what Ipod looks from the side. Again, about 3/4 of an inch thick. Boom. That's Ipod. I happen to have one right here in my pocket, matter of fact. There it is, right there.
An iPod, a phone, and an internet communicator. An iPod, a phone. Are you getting it? These are not 3 separate devices. This is one device. And we are calling it iPhone. Today, Apple is going to reinvent the phone. And here it is. Apple was in very serious trouble. There were too many people at Apple and in the Apple ecosystem playing the game of, for Apple to win, Microsoft has to lose. And it was clear that you didn't have to play that game, because Apple wasn't going to beat Microsoft. Apple didn't have to beat Microsoft. Apple had to remember who Apple was, because they'd forgotten who Apple was. And so I called Bill up and we tried to patch things up. Let me take it out here. This is the new Macbook Air, and you can get a feel for how thin it is. Yeah, there it is. Look at this. We want to kick off 2010 by introducing a truly magical and revolutionary product today. And we call it the iPad.
Thank you very much. It always helps. Thank you. It always helps, and I appreciate it very much.
Cupertino is very famous for Apple Computer, and we're very honored to have Mr. Steve Jobs to come here tonight to give a special presentation. Mr. Jobs?
Apple's growing like a weed. And as you know, we've always been in Cupertino. And so we've got a plan that lets us stay in Cupertino. And what we've done is we've bought this land right here. The campus we'd like to build there is one building that holds 12,000 people. It's a little like a spaceship landed. And so that's what we're looking at.